Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Well. What a difference a couple of weeks made. Iran is saying that they are going to punish Donald Trump, your president, for killing their supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Yeah, fam. Now, his son, Mojtaba, has been named as his successor. And Donald Trump said, well, I'll kill him too. I'm not opposed to killing him too. Yeah, fam. Let's take a look at this article in the New Republic. Trump threatens to kill Iran's new supreme leader too. The Iranian Assembly of Experts named Mojtaba Khamenei the country's new supreme leader just a week after the U.S. and Israel assassinated his father, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, along with other senior officials. Now President Trump wants to kill him too, unless he capitulates to his demands. President Trump has told aides he would back the killing of new Iranian supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei if he proves unwilling to cede U.S. demands, such as ending Iran's nuclear development, the Wall Street Journal reported on Monday, citing current and former U.S. officials. We can stop right there, fam. You get the gist of what's going on. So let me get this straight. So we're just going to continue to assassinate leaders of foreign countries until we get a leader that we're comfortable with. Is that the play? Yeah, so we're in a really weird territory right now because the U.S. has now established an operational doctrine of assassinating a foreign head of state with no congressional declaration and threatening to kill his successor if the successor does not comply with U.S. policy. That's problematic, fam, because the U.S. cannot arbitrarily just go around the world and assassinate foreign dignitaries and, other presidents and leaders of other countries just because they don't agree with U.S. policy. So we're just going to keep on assassinating people until we find a leader that we like. Look, fam, what if people assassinated leaders of the United States until they were happy that they got a president that they were satisfied with? How would that go? What would something like that look like? Think about how absurd that is, fam. Trump has called the younger Khamenei unacceptable and a big mistake. But killing leader after leader until one decides to bend the knee is a plan that it's bound to fail. It's inevitable. That is not a sustainable plan. What is a sustainable plan is diplomacy. I mean, think about it, fam. Think about it. When things have gone right in your life, when you've had good relations with people, that was mutual respect, right? And when things have gone awry, there was some disrespect involved invariably, right? So that's what's happening here. Things are going awry because there's disrespect involved. And so America don't see Iran as worthy of being on its level in terms of negotiations or even on a world status, like just basic respect. Like We're big bad US. We got 300 million and we got a bunch of military stuff over here and we can take you out. You're just Iran. You got 90 million people, but we got all the money. We got a bunch of money and we got a bunch of military equipment over here and we got soldiers and stuff and we're just way more advanced than you are. So you're nothing. I don't have to respect you. See, that is dangerous. That is dangerous. I know too many bullies who have been killed. Now, of course, America is a different type of bully, but it is a bully nation, and pride comes before the fall. And many nations have fallen because of their pride, the arrogance. Many nations have underestimated other nations, and they failed every single time. All of them. Pride comes before the fall. I've seen so many situations where bullies get their heads knocked off because they underestimate people. Let me tell you something about me. I respect everybody until they don't deserve respect. Like, just off the rip, my nieces, nephews, my little cousins, like little babies, the young ones, a lot of my little cousins call me Uncle Willie, right? Because of the way I've always carried myself around them, I've always been very respectful of the young people, but the old people too, starting with the elders, right, in the family. But I've always been very respectful of the youngsters in my family. And if any of them come across this video, they're going to be like, that's right. Because I've always wanted, I wanted that when I was young, and I didn't get that oftentimes from my family. And I just wanted to be a different human being. I wanted to be a different man. And I do believe that there used to be a show, not a show, but a commercial. And that was a PSA that used to come on, and it said, kids are people too. And I felt that because I was a kid and I felt like a person, right? But oftentimes not treated like one. So it was just a natural thing for me to just grow up giving respect, as I got older and became an adult, and just giving respect to the young kids, right? I wouldn't even cuss in front of them, Same thing with my kids, So I used to visit the prisons back in the 90s a lot. I used to do a lot of public speaking at prisons. And one time I went to death row in Huntsville, Texas, up the street from Houston. It's like about 45 minutes north of Houston, right? I go visit death row, and how I'm looking at these dudes. I'm looking through the doors and stuff like that, the guys, and I'm just looking at the guys on death row, like, and most of these guys were little bitty dudes. I'm talking about most of these guys couldn't have been more than 5 feet, 7 inches tall. But the straight killers, right? Oftentimes, people that got a little weight on them and size on them, they underestimate people. They underestimate people who are smaller than them. And they end up in the morgue with a wire cut in their chest because they be thinking, look, that's I've heard those words so many times. I've even had dudes that looked at me and said that, and then next thing you know, ding, ding, fries and shake, and they land on the ground struggling for oxygen. You dig? So I just learned not to, underestimate people just because of their size. But America ain't figured that out yet. But one day, It will. No more talk.